Hi, everybody. State Rep Jack O'Malley coming to you from your office of the 101st. I want to touch base on a couple of things. Just real briefly, yesterday, came down a little early and toured the operating engineers of Michigan, their training site. It's a almost 600-acre facility where they learn how to run cranes and excavators and bulldozers and high-tech stuff and where they learn to put iron beams together. It's a great facility, and they offer scholarships, and they are always looking for apprentices, students to come and become apprentices where you get paid while you learn. All right. So if you know of any young person who is looking at possibly the trades and the operating engineers, call the office. We'll hook you up. Search it on the internet. You'll find it. It's in Howell. It is a fantastic facility. So my hard head hat off to the operating engineers and what they're doing. And this is funded by the unions and the companies that obviously hire them. So it's a great, and safety first. That's their number one thing. So fantastic. Also, just touch base. Tomorrow, Thursday, we are holding our annual House of Representatives 9/11 memorial. We're in session. We're here. We'll do it. Obviously, this Saturday is the 20th anniversary. And I remember where I was, and I know a lot of people remember as well. It was a horrific day. But we commemorate, and it's the 20th anniversary. And every year, the House of Representatives, as we do this, we honor any and all first responders that lost their life in the state of Michigan lost their life while in the line of duty. And each representative who has had a first responder, police, fire, military, that has lost their life in the line of duty in the previous year, we honor them by announcing their name. And tomorrow, I will be announcing the name of Jerry Self. Jerry is from Norman Township. He's firefighter EMS, and he passed away on January 7th of this year. And Jerry was, unfortunately, he was in the EMS back of the wagon, and he contracted COVID while in the line of duty, and he passed away because of that. So tomorrow, we'll remember Jerry. We'll pray for his family, and we honor all first responders tomorrow with the House of Representatives. So just know it will be with great reverence and honor that I will remember Jerry tomorrow. It's unfortunate I have to do it, but I will, and I will do it, as I said, with all due respect and honor to mention Jerry and remember his family and their sacrifice too. So that's tomorrow. But I wanted to remember Jerry Self, Norman Township Fire Department, and all his comrades that have had to deal with that over the last year, his loss, and of course just the whole situation of COVID and everything every first responder does. All right, this weekend, Sunday in Frankfort, actually probably starting on Friday, the village of Frankfort is going to be surrounded and invaded by, I think it's like 3,000 athletes, family and friends, plus volunteers. There's going to be probably 12,000 people in and around Frankfort on Sunday specifically, but more than likely Saturday and Friday as they start to arrive. This is the Ironman. This happened, they ran it out of Traverse City a couple of years ago. There were issues with it. Well, they've moved it to Frankfort. It's going to basically be self-contained on that western side of Benzie County. But here's the important thing. There are already signs up. I saw them on M22 already, reminding people that their M22, a big chunk of M22 is going to be closed for a portion of the time on Sunday morning as this race goes through. And as I said, about 3,000 athletes. What else do I have here? They are looking at, it's a triathlon. The swim is a 1.2 mile swim through Betsy Bay. And then they're going to bike M22 from downtown Frankfort out towards Crystal Lake, up Esch Road on the north edge of Benzie County and back 56 miles in all. And then a 13.1 mile race starts in downtown Frankfort and circles Betsy Bay, looping back in Alberta to its endpoint in the park in Frankfort. So if you are on M22, if you are in the Frankfort area this weekend, look for crowds, look for people, look for bikers. They're going to be out there checking out the course and doing all that stuff. So it's going to be busy. It should be a great time. The organizers, and I know the village, has done a lot of work to make this right, but just be advised. If you are on M22 there in Benzie County, there's signs already up. I believe they've reached out to people. There will be time when that road is closed. Okay, so be advised of that this weekend. All right, if you're going to go, hey, let's go for a little ride. Just in general, realize that's going on. A lot of folks. Should be a good day, but I want you to be aware of it. All right, thank you. All right, the other thing that's really been bubbling in this last week, of course, is school situation and masks. Now, last week, a lot of phone calls with school board members for Benzie Central, county commissioners, the superintendent, and it's a frustrating situation. But the public health officer, as I understand it, works for Benzie Leelanau Health Department and also the Northwest Michigan Health Department. She's the public health officer. She implemented the mask mandate for everybody in the public schools. Well, here's an issue, pardon me. Part of the problem is Benzie Central Schools, the lack of children. Well, let me jump and tell you what's happened. Today is Wednesday, so as of yesterday, first day of school, Benzie had reported about 70 kids didn't show. And these are people that signed up, said they were going to enroll, but then they didn't show up. So we'll call them absent for the conversation here. 70 students that were absent on the first day of school. We're assuming they've done what the courts have said. Well, the reason these mandates are there because you have choices. You can homeschool, you can virtual school, or you can open enroll in another area. And that appears to be one of those three, at least 70 students, if not more, have done. Now, that's no good. Well, here's part of the problem. Benzie Central Schools is an in-formula school. That means they get I think it's $8,700 per pupil. And you budget, all right, how many kids are we going to have this year? They're enrolled. This is what our budget is. With those 70 kids gone, that would be a hit of about $560,000 if they don't show back up. Benzie Central Schools is not the biggest school district in the state of Michigan. And I know that they do a lot to stretch a dollar. But $560,000 cut is going to be very tough. And they may have to do some layoffs. I've said it a million times, I'm not for mandates, right? But those are the implications, and those are the things that are going to come because of this mandate by the health department. The problem is, one of the situations is, I know Benzie last year, Benzie Central, did a great job of contact tracing, making kids. They had very few instances of illness, and they worked great with the health department. And I believe many in the school system are shocked that the health department just kind of made this mandate without any real consultation. And that's going to bring me to a point in just a moment here. Maybe numbers are a problem over here, but they're not here. And again, I'm not for mandates. If you want, whatever, there are other ways to do this. One other district in the 101st said, look, you got to wear masks while we're at a 10% positivity rate. Once it drops below 10%, the masks can come off. Now, still might not be your cup of tea, but at least there's a metric. At least you say, hey, if we can get these down to 9%, we can take the stinking masks off, right? At least there's a metric. That didn't happen in Benzie, Illinois. It was masks. How do we get rid of masks? We'll let you know. That's not right, and that's wrong. So I've been doing some checking, some following up here, and right now there is another statewide petition going on, Unlock 2.0, and we have sent some legislation to the governor, only to be vetoed, that says, hey, Department of Health and Human Services can have 28 days with an order, but then after that, the legislature would have to weigh in and say yes, no, maybe, whatever. Now, you got to remember, the health department is, in general, when this rule was made, nobody was anticipating, maybe they should have, but they weren't, that we could have this pandemic that goes on forever and ever and ever and ever, right? But in generally speaking, if this were 2016 and a health department said, oh my gosh, we've got a flu outbreak, we got 4 schools in the widget factory, all got flu, we got to shut things down for a couple of weeks. Everybody'd say, oh, okay, that makes sense. Or maybe even a mask. My point is, there is a time when a health department needs to say, a local health department needs to say, well, we got to do this. Well, you know, I don't think anybody would argue with that. The problem is the extension of that. So what I'm asking about, I'm talking to our legal team, and I'm talking to the policy people. I think we need legislation that goes along with the state that has DHHS has 28 days for something like this, and then the state legislature has to weigh in. But what about local authority? I think we also need a law that says a local DHHS can implement a rule for X amount of days, 7 days, 10 days, 28 days, to be discussed. And then at the end of that time, the County Board of Commissioners, an elected body, needs to say yes, no, or maybe. Or we'll extend for this, you can do this. There needs to be some oversight. And right now, that's a problem. And Jack, they're the medical people, they know better. Yeah, maybe so to some degree, but that doesn't mean they can't come forward and show what it is they are basing this health decision on. And from everything I've heard, when offered the opportunity, Benzie Illinois Health didn't really come to the school board and say, this was it, we've got these issues. And that's not good. So here's our school board, elected officials, our school board saying, what? We don't know where we're at with this. So I do believe there needs to be accountability, even on our local health boards, within reason. You've got to give them some leeway, right? To say for a certain amount of time, we can enact this, we can do this. But somewhere along the line, people need to have accountability, and that's where I think that county board comes in. So that's where I stand. I'm hoping that Benzie Central Schools are not damaged too much by this Department of Health issue. Hopefully, we can resolve this and we can get kids back in the school. But hey, the parents are doing what they have to do, and our health department could be hurting Benzie Public Schools more than they know. We'll see how it all plays out. But I am working on and looking at to see what type of legislation we can do. And I'm not, even if we put something together, let's say tomorrow I had a bill, I drop it and it sails through the House and it sails through the Senate. My hunch is I ain't getting a governor's signature on it, but I am going to look into it and attempt it and see what we can do, because I think that's vastly important to the 101st and to the Benzie Central School District and others as well. All right. So that's it. If you're around Frankfort Sunday, be on the lookout for the race. Let's all of us take time on this 20th anniversary of 9/11 and remember. Take care.